Have you ever stopped to think that the change you've been waiting for isn't as distant as you imagine? What if I told you that you're closer to this transformation than you've ever been? It may be hard to believe, especially if you've been feeling stuck, as if you're just going through the motions of life without realizing that something grand is about to happen. But the truth is, the moment of change doesn't have to be a big revelation, a life-altering shift with a dramatic change in direction. What you haven't realized yet is that the big transformation you're seeking is already happening. You're going through a transition, and it's not out there in the future, it's here, now. Have you thought that the only thing missing for you to realize this is to change your perspective? The transformation you've been waiting for isn't a distant event, nor something that will arise in some far-off future. It begins with a simple adjustment, with a conscious decision that the change has already started, and you're ready to embrace it. You're closer than you think, and what will make the difference now is realizing that. So, if you still don't believe, stay with me, and you'll understand that transformation is closer to you than any obstacle or doubt you may be facing right now. Now, I want you to ask yourself, how many times have you felt stuck, like you're fighting against an invisible wall, always trying to move forward, but without success? Have you noticed that, even when you give your all, things seem to stay in place? Perhaps you've poured your energy into a path that seemed right, but deep down, you feel something is missing. Maybe you're tired of trying, frustrated by not seeing the results you expected, and even questioning whether what you're pursuing is really worth it. What you don't see is that this cycle, this feeling of being almost there, but still distant from your goal, is telling you something very important. What you're facing isn't just a simple obstacle, it's an invisible pattern that forms in your choices and in how you've been approaching life. Perhaps you haven't yet identified what's holding you back, but something greater is influencing your decisions, your actions, and even your beliefs about what's possible for you. This isn't by chance. You feel stuck in a cycle because, deep down, there's a part of you that still doesn't believe in the power of change, that hasn't truly allowed yourself to see the potential transformation that lies ahead. And this inner resistance is the biggest barrier you need to face. It may be difficult to look at this, but without realizing it, you've been feeding this internal conflict, and it's creating a divide between who you are today and who you're destined to become. Your real change won't happen as long as you keep ignoring this conflict. What you need to understand now is that this invisible struggle is the key to transformation. And as difficult as it may be to face, the first step toward real change is understanding and accepting that you're in control, that it's your decision that will make all the difference from now on. Now, imagine that behind all this struggle, there is a silent force, something that has been working by your side the whole time. Even if you haven't realized it, this presence has always been within reach, waiting for the right moment to manifest. It's like an invisible energy that doesn't require you to fight or struggle to reach it, but simply to open yourself to the possibility that it's already here. Have you ever felt, perhaps, a subtle intuition, a sense that something more is happening in your life than what your eyes can see? This feeling is not a coincidence. Perhaps, throughout your journey, you've gone through moments of clarity, where everything seemed to fit together, even if just for brief seconds. These clues, these small flashes of insight, are the manifestation of this force trying to guide you to your next step. It's not a grand or dramatic intervention. It's not a sudden miracle. It reveals itself slowly, discreetly, through small details and moments of introspection. But what you need to understand is that for this to happen, you need to stop fighting against yourself and against what is in your essence. This force isn't going to push you into change, but it's here, always by your side, ready to help you align with your true path, if you just allow it. What you've been ignoring so far is that this presence isn't waiting for you to be perfect or to have all the answers. It's waiting for you to recognize it, for you to open yourself to what's already around you, ready to be seen. Perhaps you've been trying to achieve change in a difficult way, believing you need to force something or control every situation. But true change, real transformation, doesn't happen that way. It happens when you start trusting in this invisible power and allow yourself to be guided. This doesn't mean you should wait passively, it means you need to make a conscious choice, accept that this help is available, recognize that you don't have to do it all alone, and let go of the resistance that has been holding you back. By doing this, you'll take the first step toward true change. Now, imagine that as you begin to recognize this silent force around you, you come face to face with an unexpected obstacle. An invisible wall rises before you, separating you from what you truly desire. You feel the presence of this wall, but you can't see how to cross it. It's formed by your own limiting beliefs, the doubt you carry inside you, and the fear of what might happen if you truly allow yourself to change. This wall can present itself in many ways. Maybe it's the insecurity that has always paralyzed you, or the constant doubt that you don't deserve to achieve something great. It could be the worry about what others will think, or the fear of failure. The feeling that no matter how hard you try, this wall will continue to block your progress. You know you need to move forward, but you feel like something is holding you back. The problem is that, many times, you try to fight against this wall, trying to break it down with force, but that only makes the situation worse. The truth is, this wall won't come down until you change your approach. It won't yield until you change your perspective. And here's the crucial point, this change needs to come from within you. The wall you see isn't a physical obstacle. It's emotional, mental, and often spiritual. It exists because you haven't yet believed it's possible to overcome it. But what if I told you that this wall, no matter how big it seems, is about to be knocked down? Not by brute force, but by the choice you're about to make. Have you realized that this wall exists because you haven't allowed yourself to look within and recognize that it's there to be faced, not ignored? The key to crossing this obstacle is accepting that you can, indeed, change. The key is to start acting differently, to choose to do something you've never done before. It's not about being perfect, it's about being genuine and willing to face what's holding you back. The biggest mistake would be to stay in the comfort zone, waiting for things to change on their own. Change won't happen if you keep doing the same things, with the same fear. The wall won't fall until you make the choice to take the next step, even without knowing exactly what will happen. This is the crucial moment. The decision to change is in your hands. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You have the power to tear down this wall now. The time has come to face the decision that could transform everything in your life. Until now, you've felt the pressure, the doubts, and the growing tension. The wall that once seemed insurmountable is still in front of you, but you already know that the key to overcoming it is within you. Now, the big question is, what will you do with this revelation? The choice is before you, and it's a choice that cannot be postponed. No matter how much fear tries to convince you to wait a little longer, the decision must be made now. You have the power to move forward, to take control of your life, and to make the necessary step to transform your reality. You know that if you don't act now, you'll stay stuck in that feeling that something is missing, that the change you so deeply desire will never happen. This is the moment to leave behind the doubts, the fears, and the insecurities. The future you dream of is waiting for you, but it will only be achieved when you choose to act. You have the tools, the potential, and, most importantly, the strength to make this change happen. All you need now is to make the choice to move forward, even if the path is not entirely clear. Even if you don't know exactly what will happen after you take that step. True transformation happens when you stop hiding and decide, once and for all, to be the protagonist of your story. It's not easy, I know. Change requires courage, it requires boldness. But the good news is that you are not alone on this journey. You have the strength within you to overcome any obstacle. The decision to change is not something that depends on external circumstances. It depends on you, on your will to go beyond, to see opportunities where there was once only fear. What will you do now? Will you stay in the comfort zone, waiting for things to change on their own, or will you take the reins of your life and make the change happen? The choice is yours. And remember, it will shape everything that comes after. The future is not in a distant place, it's waiting for you, right now. Change starts here, starts now, and starts with you. Now that you find yourself at the threshold of decision, it's time to take the final step. The change you've been seeking is not far away, it's waiting for you, in a place within yourself. The truth is, you're already closer than you think to transforming your life. What seems like a great obstacle is actually the opportunity for you to become the most authentic and powerful version of yourself. There's no more room for excuses or delays. You hold in your hands the power to act, and it is this action, now, that will determine the direction of your future. The transformation you desire does not come from a great miraculous event, but from small steps of courage, taken one after the other. The future you've always wanted is waiting for your decision, waiting to be built by the choices you make today. You already know what you need to do. Now it's time to take the step that will change everything. Don't wait any longer, don't delay any longer. What you desire is right there, within your reach, but it will only become real when you choose to act. Think of what you could achieve if you set aside fear and embraced change. You're not alone. We all go through this crossing, facing the same dilemmas, the same challenges. What sets us apart is the courage to move forward, to take the first step, even without seeing all the details of the path ahead of us. Transformation begins and you decide that you will no longer wait for things to change on their own. You are the force you need to shape your destiny. So, the question is, will you let change happen, or will you be the change you've been waiting for? There's no more time to waste. The future is already calling, and it's waiting for you. The moment is now.